In this evening's video, I would like to make a very special presentation, and this is to reveal a very unique, most probably ultra rare object, and this is a Napoleonic era clock by Balthazar Montandon. Now, Balthazar lived from 1765 till 1839, and he originally came from the Libreville Valley of Switzerland, and he moved to France approximately in the 1780s. This could be somewhere between 1783 to 1787, based on information supplied by Monsieur Jacques Hauvet of Clermont and Paris. Now, Balthazar Montandon moved to France to make and sell clocks and watches, and he went into business at that time with a very famous person, and this is in the city of Clermont, with André Olfin. Now, his partnership of Olfin and Montandon seems to have begun certainly by the late 1780s, and it's very evident that they were collaborating together between 1790 to 1800. Now, André himself had died in 1807, and it's not exactly clear at what point their partnership ceased. Now, it's very possible that in the last years of his life he would have slowed down, and he may have slowly moved away from the business, but certainly by 1807 Balthazar would be on his own making clocks. Now, this piece that I would like to present is a very interesting piece. This appears to be a Directorate era clock, and the Directorate was a period in French history approximately from 1795 to 1799, and this was during the rise of Napoleon, and the old stylistic features that we used to find in Louis XVI clocks, this very ornate Baroque style, has totally vanished, but it is replaced by a much more Spartan, much more simplistic, almost iconic style, and often this is in Greco-Roman motifs, as we see in the clock I should like to present. And this clock is a mantelpiece. It's marble doré, and it has the theme of this Bacchian figure, sort of a Bacchus, Bacchian rites, and this is very, very beautiful, very luxurious item. Now, this probably was fabricated most certainly after 1800, but probably before 1810. So about what we're speaking of between 1805 to 1810 is most likely. But André, as I had said, had died in 1807, and it does seem that this was fabricated after the partnership had concluded, as it is signed only Montandon of Clermont. And this is Balthazar is our only Montandon fabricator who was making clocks in Clermont-Ferrand, current day Clermont-Ferrand. So that what we know of Balthazar is that he did stay in Clermont until his retirement. Now, he had 3 children. He had married the daughter of his partner André, Andrienne Olfin, and his first child, Felicity, may have died in infancy, or it definitely seems that she died at a very young age. However, the 2 sons, neither of them would continue on in the watchmaking business as the father had. However, both of them would become very successful individuals in their own realms. Now, I would like to briefly mention that the eldest son was a minister of the Protestant Reformed Church, and he became the main priest at the Louvre church. Now, this is the main Protestant church in Paris, and he has written many books, which Frederick J. Montandon does have a list of these publications. These are mainly dealing with the education of children, religious, spiritual literature, this type of thing. But this A.L., you will see him under A.L. Montandon. And these are very interesting books. He lived until 1876 and was at the Reformed Church of the Louvre until his death. Most probably he was starting this in the early 1830s, his vocation there. Now, the second son, he's also another very interesting individual. Now, Alexis Montandon, or Annette Alexis, he became a very high bureaucrat in the royal government after the demise of the Napoleonic regime. And I should briefly mention that he was a bureaucrat in the post, where he was controlling tariffs and things of this nature. And we do find him in auctions where one of Napoleon's last wills and testament and a trove of other documents connected with Napoleon's banker Lafitte are all found together. It appears that after the downfall of Napoleon, his banker Lafitte had to deal with the aftermath of all of this revolution, which he was financing Napoleon, and so there are many letters written to Alexis Montandon. He also was the treasurer of the Entomological Society of France, and we can find where he has taken money from those who are joining this entomological society, and he's issuing their certificates of membership. One specific original document I have is dated from 1840, and I can provide pictures of that. It's very, very interesting, and the letter of acceptance as well in his hand. But he, Alexis, the second son, he died at a much younger age, sadly. He was involved in a scandal with a lady which saw him lose his position of over 20 years with the ministry and La Poste, and he more or less set up a company with partners to engage in logging and entrepreneurial undertakings in the Ottoman Empire. And so he journeyed to Constantinople, and sadly he perished of illness, which he picked up there, and both his mistress and child and himself, they all perished there, which was right on the Georgian border of the Ottoman Empire. Now, this was in 1842, I believe. However, back to Balthazar. Now, his children are very interesting, and it's very unfortunate that they did not go into more safer careers such as watchmaking as the father had done. But as I mentioned previously, Balthazar did retire in Paris, and this was probably by the late 1820s, early 1830s. Both of the sons had found themselves in positions in the government there. So, and with Augustin Laurent, the elder son, then at the church. However, we do see mentions of Balthazar in business, even in retirement, and this is with another individual for the production of verre de montre, and this was very special glass used for the crystals. And the business partner that he worked with would eventually go on to make lenses for the Tsar of Russia for his telescopes and in the observatory. However, I just want to end this very impromptu video with the scenes of this very interesting, very luxurious clock. This is the only clock that we know signed by Balthazar. It's signed Montandon of Clermont, and this is a quite unique piece, and it's just in very good shape. It's just an immaculate piece. So I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I hope you enjoy observing this little note for the record. Thank you for your attention.